Hello everyone, how you doing? Hope you're safe and well. Paul79 here. Hope you've all had good weekends. Today is Monday the 19th of September. It's Her Majesty's funeral. God bless your mum. Yes, it's a bank holiday in the UK, but still have to do a bit of work to sort of cover the desk. Not too much though. Like I said, I hope you all had good weekends. I had a busy one. I was doing my secret project at work. I probably spent about 6 hours both Saturday, Sunday working on it. But the good news is I made some great progress and feeling really happy about that. And yeah, I've had quite a busy one. I mean, my beautiful wife and my girls are feeling a bit under the weather at the moment. They've got like some sort of, it's not COVID, just some sort of like cough and, well, not a cough even, it's just like a bit coldy, you know, you just feel a bit run down, you know, the weather's starting to turn. I've had to put my fleece on because it's getting a bit chill in the old lodge. I'm going to have to think about some sort of heating solution for when it gets really cold. But yeah, no, so I did the work. What else have I done? Oh, I took the table tennis table down, put that away because it's getting too cold. What else did I do? I had to do a bit of DIY. Went over to see my mum. Hi mum. Hi mum. Doing a shout out to mum. Put some handles up in her bathroom, you know, so she can get in and out of the bath and the shower easier. Yeah, it turned out well. Always a bit worried about drilling into tiles, but no, it turned out okay. So she can put herself in now. They're pretty solid. Well, they should be. I hope they are. But yeah, she's very pleased with them. So did that, and then I had to put in a new pull switch for me extractor fan that broke. It proper broke. The string come out, and it's a sealed unit, so I had to replace it. But I mean, this thing is like older than my children, you know. This was 15 years old, so yeah, I managed to work that out. It still works now, so we can defumigate the bathroom once again, which is very important. Anyway, I digress. So today we're going to talk about windows, right? It's not a particularly sexy sort of subject, but you do have to, when you build these cars, you do have to change the windows, right, from the standard Boxster ones. And there's going to be stuff in here that, you know, normal Boxster or Cayman owners will probably find useful, because I sort of talk about how the whole window mechanism works, because often the regulators, the window regulators, they go after a certain period of time. So I'm sort of just going to go through all the bits on the door and sort of how you do it. So hopefully this shouldn't just appeal to kit car builders, it should appeal to sort of a lot of Porsche owners in general. So I hope you like it. So let's get cracking. In fact, let's just show you the window to start with. So here it is. Don't want to drop it. So this is a Cayman window, right? Cayman 987. Now you can get them on eBay, I guess secondhand, but I found they're actually very reasonably priced from Porsche. So I always buy brand new ones. They're about £120. You know, often windows break or get broken into. So yeah, I've just, for the last two, so on the white one and on this one, actually, and on the grey one, I ended up buying new ones. And it's nice because they're new. And, you know, often if you buy a second-hand one, do you remember, you know, you used to be able to get your number plate etched on the window glass? Of course, if you're going to buy a second-hand one, that might be on there. Now, you might be able to get that off, but to me, it's nice to have a nice, clean, shiny one. So, yeah. Right, let's get cracking. So here we have a UK driver's side Cayman window glass, right? Brand new. Like I said, it comes in this cardboard. I've actually got the passenger one as well, because I was just looking for it and I hadn't even opened that one up. But yeah, basically just describing the window. This part below will always sort of sit inside the door, and it's here, these sort of straight bits is where the clamps go to. Now I've probably got some here as an example. Here is one here, right? So you'll see when I go in the car in a minute, but basically this is how the window gets clamped to the mechanism. So you can see this is all standard. You've got this little rubber sort of grommet spacer there to sort of grip it. And basically you access this bolt from the inside of the door to basically tighten and loosen and adjust your window. This thing is also another form of adjustment that you can make your window go up and down with. So there's a lot of fine tuning that you can do when fitting any window, even a standard Boxster window, right, to your Boxster. But yeah, just wanted to sort of give you a little bit of an overview on that. Oops, shaky hands. Right, okay, so this is where we are. So this is your Boxster with the kit on the top, and you can see that the window shape is different to the standard Boxster. So when this was a Boxster with a convertible roof, the window would curve round like that. Whereas now we've got more of a sort of a slanty edge at the back. So obviously your Boxster windows won't work, hence why we need the Cayman ones. Now, in terms of actually putting the window in to the door, it's exactly like a normal window. However, I just wanted to go through sort of all the things and experiences I've had with these because I'm on my third set. And yeah, you do pick up a lot of things along the way. Now, if we actually go to the door to start with, there'll be a rubber sort of, well, it's sort of rubber and metal strip that goes on here, right? Now, I've taken this off because it gets in the way of the painting, and they just grip on like that. I don't think I've got one about to sort of show you, but you'll sort of know what I mean, and if you go out and look at your car, you'll see it. So first of all, you need to pull that off, and what you need to be a bit careful is pull them off gently. Don't just rip them off, because what will happen is you'll bend the metal that's inside it that actually does the gripping, and you'll never get it back to how it looked when it was brand new, you see. So you have to take them off carefully. They do just slide on. I mean, again, these weather, what are they called? They're probably called like weather strips or something. These do get a bit tatty after years, and chances are, you know, your Boxster will be 15 years old. So I actually, when I finally fit the car up, when it's painted, I actually buy new ones. Again, they're about 80 quid from Porsche, but it's sort of, it's one of those things that you do sort of notice, especially when you've got your car like in white or blue and then it's black. It's nice to have nice new sort of satin black type rubber seals on there. If you open up the door, what you've then got is you've got this rubber, which is a big sort of, you've got your triangle bit here, and then it's got this bit that goes on the inside of the door, and it's actually connected then to the door seal, and it goes all the way around. So it's a very sort of long thing, right? Now that again will just come off like that, yeah, and stick and just wedge itself back on. And this whole sort of, it's a bit like a sock. You see this rubber bit, it's got like sort of extra lippy bits that go in that hole to keep it sealed. And you've got to remember, on the original Boxster and the Cayman, the wing mirror sat here, and it comes through, and the bolts for the wing mirror sort of, there's 3 of them sort of dotted around here, and then that's where the wing mirror mechanism comes through. So of course I don't need any of that sort of mechanism because I'm going to do the wing mirrors on the doors. But yeah, this whole rubber thing, this sort of just slides off. You just sort of pull it that way and it eventually comes off. You see, you can see I can sort of fold it out anyway, but that piece comes all off, right? And these sort of door trims are just, they're just sort of attached in with little plastic pins. They sort of fit. Here you go, you can see this is the inside of one, so there'll be holes in the doors, and then on the other side you've got the rubber. So I'm wiggling the rubber now, and it just pokes through there. Chances are you'll get it off, and you'll have a few missing, and B, you'll break a few, but you can easily buy them on eBay. They're tiny, so they're cheap as chips. So I've just got like loads of spare ones. All right. Right, so what I've realised is that window, the actual glass, is actually quite heavy, right? So this shows you how dedicated I am to making sure you guys get this right. I've made a cardboard one. Look, and I even put a little handle on there, on the back, so I can sort of show you. But yeah, in essence, if you can imagine, oh, I'm going to have to tilt the camera down a bit. Yeah, if you can imagine, yeah, the window sits in like that, and then I'm going to shut the door now. It effectively goes like that. yeah? Like any other window. The things you have to, obviously this isn't going to fit because it's cardboard and it's got no curve in it. But yeah, the idea is it should go right up the front there and you adjust it to fit and go under these drip rails or whatever they're called to keep it all nice and secure. So now I'm going to sort of show you other bits about how to get the other window out to start with and all the bits on the inside of the door. So in terms of actually getting to your door glass, right, obviously you've got to take the door card off. So I'm not going to show you how to do that because I've already done it and there'll be hundreds of YouTube videos about how to actually do that. But once you have the door glass off, right, what you'll see is there'll be like a rubber grommet here, a closed grommet covering these two holes, right? Now these are the holes that you access this bolt through, right, to get the window out. Now what you want to do is before you take your door card off and disconnect like your window up and down electrics and all that, you want to make sure the window is up, right? So these bits, which holds the glass, will be right up the top behind this metal. Otherwise you'd have to put it all back together again and make them go up, which is something, yes, I have done before. Anyway, so to get the glass out, that'll be up there. But when you look through this, you'll notice that you can't quite get to the bolt. Now, the only way to actually get to that bolt properly is what you've got to do is simulate the door shut and the window moving up a little bit. So you'll know that, you know, when you open these doors, right, when you do the door handle, the window comes down ever so slightly before you open the door. And then when you shut it, it hits the door and it goes up like that to seal it. So the way to simulate that is with your window up as far as it will go, open the door, and then what you'll need is to get a screwdriver and basically just simulate. I can actually do it with my thumb here. You actually want to do this little lock latch up, right? Like that, okay? Now what that will do, it won't do it here because I've got no electrics, but that will make your window go up probably about 1 centimetre, simulating it, doing it there when the door's shut. And then you'll be able to get to the bolt, right? And it's just a star bolt. You just sort of undo it so it's loose. Don't do it too much, otherwise the other side of the metal will fall out. And then you'll be able to just wiggle your window and take it out. So now you've got your door glass out, you will probably still have the inner door sort of metal plate showing here, so you won't be able to see that. Now that is just bolted on. It's got the airbag attached to it as well, and that also contains sort of mounting points for this window motor. You'll see again, there'll be videos on YouTube how to do all that, but what I want to say is chances are your car will be 15 years old if you're building one of these kits. So I've found it's always worth replacing these whole regulators beforehand, because chances are they'll be old and they might be on their last legs. They do go. And if you think about with a Boxster, every time you even take the roof off, the windows go down a bit. So it does a lot of up and down in its life, yeah. So when I built the white car, I'd already done this before, painting and all that. But when I was fitting up the windows for real and adjusting them, and, you know, and that can take quite a while, the window regulator broke, right? So I had to take it all apart again and put new ones in. So I've done that already, yeah. I've left it all nice and bare because it's going to help my painter when he comes to paint it, because he'll take the doors off. But effectively, these things, they're very simple to fit. So you've got the bolt here and a bolt there. That bolts the legs in at the top. And then at the bottom, you'll see there is a hole. Well, actually, let's talk about this now. So underneath your doors, right, you'll see one, and then there is another hole there. There'd be like the rubber grommets that you've got here. They'd be there, right? So they serve two purposes, right? So you can see here at the front, right? So there's going to be an oval here beneath this, which gives you access to bolt this leg in from the bottom, right? And then the reason why you've got ovals here and here is to help with the adjustment of the window once you finally got it in, because it will enable you to get a ratchet spanner through there and be able to adjust this bolt, which is sort of a star nut. Yeah. Now, let's talk about sort of like the window alignment. So with the window alignment, right, and this applies to regardless of whether they're doing the kit cars or anything like that. Say you just had a Boxster and you wanted to replace this mechanism. As I said before, it hard bolts there, and then it bolts in at the bottom here. Now, what you'll find is that sits, I've done it up a bit tight actually, I can't undo it. But basically this whole thing will slide like that, yeah? Because there'll just be a little bolt at the bottom of this. In fact, you see that little circle? Yeah, oh, actually you can see now. You can see there's a little groove, yeah? So basically this moves back and forth on both of them, and that can tilt the angle of the window how you want, yeah? Then what you have here is, as I said before, this is just access to get to the bottom of the window mounting brackets, yeah? And you can turn that to make that go up and down, which effectively moves this whole silver bit here. It's better here, look. So that hole at the bottom where my finger is designed to get access to that, and you can adjust your window even more up and down for sort of fine tuning, right? So that's it. So in terms of sort of standard Boxster window adjustment, right? Because you're obviously going to want to make it not fit nice and snug to the door seals here. You want it to go underneath that bit and close to the rubber to be as tight as possible, obviously. And these are the standard ways you do it. For any Cayman or Boxster owner or 997 owner, you know, if you want to replace this window regulator because yours is gone, you're going to need to, chances are, it's going to come from the factory, this piece, this new piece, and it's going to require you to adjust it, right? So, now the final thing, and I'll start another clip. So the final thing about what I've found after building 3 of these is, you can see that is a standard Boxster window clamp, right? The problem with it is, I've found, is in order to get the Cayman window to fit these cars properly, the rear of the window, where it's clamped at the bottom, yeah, it goes up like that, that needs to, compared to the way the Boxster clamp is worked, it needs to come up a bit more like that to meet that curve. If you talk about it, this bit needs to come up more like that. Now, obviously you've got this adjustment here, but I found that isn't necessarily enough. And the issue we have is this standard clamp here on the front, which is fine, by the way. On the back one, you need to really, the window, if you can imagine the window's getting put there where my finger is and then bolted together, yeah, to hold the glass in place. Ideally, on the back, the window needs to sit higher, right? But we don't have enough metal to clamp it, right? So we've got a bit of a problem. I mean, I think on the grey one, I managed to get away with it, but the GT3 RS kits, they're slightly different roof line, right? So I've come up with an ingenious way. What I've effectively done here, and you can't see it very well, but if you look, that's where the original clamp ended. And I've made effectively the clamp higher by riveting a piece of metal to it, yeah? And I've done it on both sides, and then you can see I've got the standard rubber gripping thing as well in place. What that effectively means is when the window glass comes down, actually clamp it at this bit here higher up than the standard one would be, and that just gives me that extra added height to get the window sitting nicely, right? Now, these things, they actually come off these sort of slide rails very easily. If you you can't really see, but you'll see it when you've got this piece out. Basically, you see this plastic where my thumb is, yeah? That sort of bends round and that will completely come off. And then there'll be the wire that moves this whole thing up and down. That will just clip out. A bit like a bicycle brake cable sort of thing, right? But I thoroughly recommend you do that, obviously, because then it just gives you a lot more adjustment room here to make your window sit exactly how you want it to, okay? At the end of the day, it's just riveted in, drilled 2 little holes there, put a plate in on both pieces. In fact, have I still got that piece over there? Hang on. Let me take my doorstop out, the piece of wood. There we go. Oops. So, that's a good point, actually. You know, I did that thing with the screwdriver to make the window sit up. Now it won't shut, and that's because I need to simulate opening the car. So if you do the door handle, that basically makes that thing go back, and it should shut. It nearly didn't then, did it? Oh, well, look at that idiot. Right, so on this thing here, you can see it's actually 2 pieces of metal, right? Front and back. And once you take that bolt out, this back bit that's a bit curved, you'll see that will just completely come apart, yeah? And it's actually locked in place by this little piece of metal here on the other bit, right? It locks in place. So all I've done is effectively added, let's stand that up like that, yeah? Right. Let's go to my little trinkets of all offcuts of metal. Effectively, it's probably this thickness, actually. Effectively, what I've done, taken the rubber out, right, and then riveted a piece like this to there and a piece like this to there, just to make it that little bit higher, right? You know, drill two holes in there, rivet it so the head of the rivet is on the inside, so it doesn't protrude too much, and the, you know, the bottom of the rivet that gets all squashed up is on, is on this side, and you'll be good. You'll be good to go. With this bit here, you can rivet it in the holes there, but it just effectively makes, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? It effectively just makes your clamp a little bit higher, yeah? I mean, there could be other ways to do it, but I found that's the quickest and simplest way, and it's solid, and you know, you still are able to use the same way to grip it. It's going to grip a bit higher up. Try to use thicker metal as you can, right? Obviously, probably the thickness of that. What you don't want to do is use really thin metal to extend it. You wouldn't use this, but look how thin that is. If that's too thin, it will bend, and then it won't grip the window tight enough. But yeah, that's how to sort of make these. And I've done one each side, and it's all good. So another thing, I told you there was a lot of things to think about. Also, when you're fitting up your window for real, you've got to bear in mind you're going to have your rear quarter here. So your rear quarter window is going to fit, and it will cover just this rubber here, right? And it will be just a solid edge of glass. So when you're fitting this up for real, you need to ensure, and this is why that extra bracket helps, because basically if you use the standard Boxster brackets without that let's call it the bracket extension. Without that bracket extension, your window, even if it's as high as it can be at the back here, it will hit the glass on the rear quarter. So that's why you need to effectively rotate it to straighten it up, and so when the door shuts, it doesn't hit that glass. It's a very trial and error sort of thing, right? It will take a while, but you know, you've got enough adjustments there and places, etc., to be able to get it done. The main thing is don't rush it, and don't just, when you're shutting the door, don't slam it in case it hits that edge there, because you might break your window and stuff like that. So another thing I should really talk about is the door seal, because you sort of need this, obviously, to seal up against the window. So what we have is, obviously the Boxster ones, they would have ended there because it's got a convertible roof. So what you need is Porsche 911, 996 or 997. I'll write that in this video at the bottom. Door seals, right? And they work perfectly. Do not go for 991s. I've tried that, and what I found is it must be the way it attaches, because basically these door seals, I can't lift it up now, but basically it's just a groove that then just locks onto the the piece of metal, like any door sill really, you know, a bit like this one here, you know, that just locks on like that. I bought some 9911s, and along the top, right, it doesn't have, the rubber is not like that to grip on. It's just flat. So you'd have to glue them on, which I just thought, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, I only bought them because I saw them on eBay and they were cheap, and I thought, and they obviously, because they're newer in terms of, it's on a newer model, they'd be in better condition. But gone back to basics, just bought the 996 ones in this case. I find that they're better. The reason being is they have this little lip here. Yeah. Now what you might find, because this is a kit car, it's not a real car, when you finally come to fit your window up right, it might not be completely snug here. And what I've done is got a bit of D-rubber, you know. No, it's not that shape. You know what a D-rubber's like, you know, one side is sticky and then it's just a big D. What I did on the white one is I stuck a strip of D-rubber there, sort of underneath this lip, and that just gave me an extra bit of rubber to stick out, that when the door glass shuts and then goes up, it makes a nice tight seal, because you're not going to get it perfect, right? The grey one I got pretty good, to be fair. Yeah, that's what I've done, and that's why the 996 ones are better than the 997 ones, because they have this little lip here. But totally up to you. You'll probably all do it a lot better than me and won't need that. Another thing to talk about the door seal is this whole sort of, what's that? Let's call that a circumference, right? That is slightly less long or shorter than the real car, right? For some reason. So what you'll find is when you want to start, or when you fit it, you want to start in this corner, because there'll be a corner like that, and you want to get it all nice flush there and all nice and flush there. And what you'll find, you'll get to this bit and you'll see it's too long. Yeah. So what I do, obviously you need to cut it, and you need to take a chunk of about 1 inch out, right, to make it marry up. You can see there, that's about 1 inch. Yeah. I only cut that bit out when I'm fitting it up for the last time and the car's all painted, right? Because chances are something will move and your paint shop will adjust something and all that, and then you'll have a gap. And also the best place to make this join so you don't see it as much is there. Don't do it like here, because well, you can see it every time you get in. So for now, all I do is basically just cut it, a nice straight clean cut for now, and I just leave it like that. It doesn't get in the way of anything, but you know, everything it's required for with the window is functioning how it should do. All right. So now I'm lying on my cold garage floor, and I just thought I'd show you. So you see that bolt there, that secures the window regulator, you know, the rails, the black rails I was talking about. So that's there, and if you look, you can see you can move that nut along that slot, and that will change the angle of the glass. So you've got one there, and you've got, oh yeah, oh dear, oh god, you got one at the front there. All right, and then this second hole on each end, you can see, oh, you see that little star nut. Oh, I'm going to drop my camera now. See that? That's to make it go up and down as well, and you access it through this hole here. You put your long socket in. Where has it gone? There it is. You put your long socket through with the star adapter on the end, and you make it move up and down. The thing is yeah, once your door card's on, look, you can see me in the reflection. Hello. Once your door card's on and your window's out and you're trying to adjust it, you know, you can't get to it that way. So that's why they put that there. Me again, there's still more. Another thing to bear in mind is when you're putting your windows in and you're adjusting them up for the last time, you want to make sure that you've both got both this rubber on and that rubber there, because you know these rubbers fit snug against the glass, and if you try and line it up without that rubber on, A, I don't think you'd be able to put it back on afterwards anyway, because the window being away. But B, it affects how the glass also sits. So you want that on first as well. Obviously, you want to get the glass sitting inside that groove as well, right? To make it work as well. Otherwise, you know, you'll have a gap there and water will get through. So, thought I'd better tell you that. So that's about it, really. Sorry about the rubbish sort of camera work and, you know, my bad professional sort of filming and all that. But, you know, and sorry that it's so long, but there's actually, as you can see, there's quite a lot sort of to it. Nothing's particularly difficult. It's just you need to do things in a certain order. And, you know, I've spent hours and hours on doing the white ones, getting it right. But, you know, with these sort of hints and tips, it should take you a lot quicker to do. In terms of sort of this whole process, and what I suggest you do is when your car is in a condition like this, you know, everything's stripped, it's not painted, I would change the regulators or check the condition of yours. You're going to need to strip the door out for your paint shop, but I would make that bracket and then just have a little go of having the window in and sort of getting it how it should be, right? Don't spend hours on it, but it's more about just becoming familiar with the process. And then when your car's back from paint, you know, it won't be as long ago and you'll be able to do it, and there shouldn't be as many surprises. There is no point getting it perfect now, right? Because so much stuff's got to come back out and it'll all be out of line again. There's no point. You're obviously going to have you're not going to have your windows in when your car gets painted, so they're going to have to come out anyway. But, you know, for sort of ease of your own mind, because people do worry about this bit of the car, of the build, you know, sort of do a rough sort of trial run before you get it painted, so you know what you're doing. Obviously, you've got this lovely video, so you're going to be viewing it a lot and get lots of clicks, which is good. But yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't worry too much about getting it perfect before your car's painted. And in theory, it comes back, you know what you're doing, it'll get done, you'll be able to refresh your mind with this video and you'll get it in, and it won't be such a nightmare like it was for me. All right? So I hope this has been useful for everyone, and I'll see you again on the next video. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got a list. So yeah, take care and God bless. Stay safe, everyone. See you later. Bye.